Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of Learning with Mr. Frost. Today, we have a very, very special guest. And, well, where is she? I don't know. What? She's coming down. Oh my goodness, it is First Officer Diana Abrams. Miss Abrams, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing today, John, Mr. Frost?
Oh, well, excuse me. Thank you. I'm doing very, very well. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, we have some questions, and I put some questions out there to our fans, and there's like maybe 10 or 15 questions.
Okay.
All right, let's begin. So, can you tell us about yourself? Like, where did you grow up? Where did you go to high school? Where did you go to college?
So I went to college at Montco. I wanted to become a vet.
Ooh.
I was very interested in that. I loved animals a lot. But when I was in school, I just didn't seem like it was triggering me enough. I didn't feel that drive, and I wanted to always become a pilot. So I ended up leaving Montco, moving to Florida, packing all my bags, and I chased my dream. I went to a community college down there while I went to flight school. I got my degree in aviation science. It's an associate's degree, and it also involves the courses also involve flying, which is what I liked. I was very hands-on, and that's what led me to becoming in the airlines. Where I currently am at now is I'm waiting to get onto a flight in Charlotte to go to Hilton tonight.
Ooh.
On a wait.
That's amazing. So right now, are flights a little bit more or a little bit less crowded?
I'm sorry.
Are flights a little bit less crowded?
It is less crowded right now. I can give you a little view of the airport. It's very empty right now.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm one of the only ones here, but I still love my job, and I'm happy to take people from A to B during this crisis we're going through right now. It's still very rewarding because some of them are nurses, doctors, just trying to get to one place to another to help people out, or family just getting to family to be able to be together. So it's always a rewarding each passenger.
That's amazing. And so something that you were talking about earlier, you didn't have a passion for anything else that you were doing. Is that right?
I'm sorry, they're talking. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, that's a real announcement from an airport.
All right, go ahead. Go
Oh,
again.
well, thank you. So you didn't feel passionate about anything else except flying. Is that right?
That's right.
So I really like that message because if somebody is telling you to do something or you have an idea of what you should be, but you're not passionate about it, it's really, really important to follow your passions.
Yes, it is. And many people told me that I was not capable of becoming a pilot. So that kind of brought me down a little bit. But I didn't let anyone tell me no. I listened to my heart and the drive that I had, and I accomplished it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that message with us. So, we do have a lot of friends who are in elementary school right now, so kindergarten through fifth grade. What was your favorite thing to do in elementary school?
My favorite thing to do in elementary school was horseback riding.
What?
I horseback rode, and I grew up on a farm. So I thought my passion was becoming a vet, but until I found out this new discovery of flying planes, I have two loves now. I like horseback riding, and I love planes.
As soon as they make flying horses, you'll be fine, right?
Yes.
Yes. Flying horses is what it's all about. So we talked about when you first knew you wanted to be a pilot. You've always had a passion for that. So in school, were there any obstacles for you to overcome?
You're breaking up.
In school, were there any obstacles to overcome?
Some obstacles to overcome is there are 4% females
Ooh.
in the airline, in aviation in general.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of a challenge. People think I'm a flight attendant, even though I'm in a pilot uniform. or other people ask me if I'm scared or how do you do it?
Yeah.
Well, um, am any questions anyone will come to me about, but
Hmm.
that's a challenge that I do face. But once someone comes and talks to me and I tell them my knowledge I have about the aircrafts or just small talk,
Right.
really they find it very rewarding or amazing that I do such a thing.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I reached out to you, because I saw your passion for it and I was like, wait a minute. Any flight that I've been on, it's mainly been like a male pilot, and you're right.
Yeah.
So, well done. And you know what? People will face adversity everywhere they go. It's your job to overcome it. All right. What is the coolest thing you've done as a pilot so far?
Sorry, I broke up. It like cuts in every other word.
Oh boy. What is the coolest thing you've done as a pilot so far?
What's the coolest thing I've done as a pilot so far?
Yeah.
The coolest thing I have done, being a pilot, I got my first solo. I flew in a plane by myself for the very first time, just like when you're riding a bike and
Yeah.
your tricycles come off and you're riding on just two wheels. It was like just soloing for the first time, all by myself, no one next to me. So that was very rewarding. Another thing that was really rewarding was once I became a flight instructor. I had to become a teacher before I became in the airlines,
Oh.
and it was very cool to take a student from 0 hours that didn't know anything and building them up enough courage and learning experience to be allow them to be able to solo themselves. So that was those two experiences are very awesome. Me soloing myself
Yeah.
and me becoming a teacher to solo other students that have
Wow.
0 hours to become a pilot themselves.
That's amazing. So you log how many hours you have as a pilot, right?
How many hours?
You have as a pilot?
How many hours do I have as a pilot?
Yeah.
I currently have, I'm about to reach 3,000 hours in an aircraft total time. So that's a whole
3,000
day.
hours?
Yes.
Holy bananas. That's longer than I can do anything. So, we're talking about the cool things that you do as a pilot. How in the world, and boys and girls, I'll show you a picture of this. How in the world can you learn all of these controls?
Is it a picture of a bunch of girls? I can't see it.
Yeah.
And what did you say? It broke out.
Oh, so how in the world can you learn all of these controls?
All those controls. So what you do is it's a very hands-on learning thing. You get in the plane, you fly with somebody, you start feeling out the controls, but
Mhm.
also you have to do a lot of your learning on the ground too by
Right.
watching videos, going to school, taking classes, and then you go from your classes and go to the plane and apply them in the aircraft.
So I'm assuming by the time you get into the air, you know what every single one of those controls does, right?
I do. I do. I know all the buttons.
All
I
the
know all the
buttons.
controls.
That's so cool. All right, let's keep going. Oh, this is a cool one. Have you ever had any famous passengers?
Have I ever had any scared passengers?
Any famous passengers?
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Have you ever had any famous passengers?
I've had a few passengers, some musicians, some people. Some, I don't know. Usually, the flight attendants will come up to the cockpit and they'll be all excited and starstruck, and they'll
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, some newcaster was here," or some artist. I usually don't get to see them. I'm up front, but they get to enjoy. The flight attendants get to enjoy it in the back seat. But they
Yeah.
usually don't bother them. They just treat them like a normal person, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how people treat me, like a normal person, you know?
Yeah,
Can you hear me any better, by the way?
kind of a little bit.
Okay. All right, cool. Alrighty. Famous passengers. All right, ready? So, what is your favorite place to fly?
So my favorite place to fly, I currently live in Key West, which is an island.
Ooh.
Um, I think it's very rewarding to land down there, even though I've flown down there multiple times because I just love seeing the islands there.
Yeah.
But my second place I like to land is in Philadelphia because that's my hometown. And that's where, when I was a little girl, would fly, see all the planes taking off and landing. I tell my parents all the time and ask them all these questions: how does a plane work? And I'd worry more about flying in the plane than going on the vacation. So I'm always like, I think it's incredible when I get to land there now and bringing back all the memories from when I was a little girl and wanted
Yeah.
to be a pilot.
That's amazing. And that's so cool that you could watch that as a little kid, and that would kind of, light your passion up even more. So,
Yeah,
do you ever get scared before flying?
I do not, because when we go through training, especially as an airline pilot, we go through multiple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just feel like you're not going to pass and become an airline pilot because they just put you, it's almost like boot camp. But I don't want to intimidate you all, but they will put you in the craziest scenarios that you have to get out of that almost is impossible to happen in a plane.
Wow.
But they make sure that you're capable of doing it before you become an airline pilot. They will do crazy things. They will give you a scenario that there's no oxygen in the plane's on fire, and you have no engines, which would be almost impossible to happen in real life.
Yeah.
But they want to see the task management and how you would handle it and prioritize things.
Wow.
So
Yeah, so it sounds like you're very prepared as a pilot.
they over-prepare us, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
And now we have like 3rd through 5th graders who might not be too nervous, but what would you say to a little child, maybe kindergarten through 2nd grade, if they were feeling a little bit nervous about going onto a plane?
Well, I do know there's some apps on phones that like kid games or elementary games that allow you to kind of see what an airport does and have little fun games like that. So it kind of catches your interest and you're wanting to be more in tune on what's going on rather than being scared.
Yeah.
Another thing is I don't know. That's a good question. I never heard of that.
So we talk a lot about like taking deep breaths and like thinking about something else that might make you feel better, stuff like that.
You broke up again.
Oh no! I keep breaking up. It's like high school. What was I saying? So we talk about like taking deep breaths and stuff like that, and kind of modify your behavior. Oh, am I still breaking up?
It's hard to hear you.
Is that better?
Kind of. I hear like every 4th word you say.
Really? Oh shoot. Okay.
It's kind of been like that the entire time, but sometimes it's harder to make out what you're saying.
Oh well, you've been doing a wonderful job if it's been doing that.
The what?
You've been doing a great job then, because it seems like you can just hear me all the time.
Yeah, it's hard to hear. I hear like every 4th word.
Shoot. Okay. Well, this is almost over.
Okay.
So I just have a few.
If you think I'm like responding slow, it's because I'm like really focused into hearing what you're trying to say. I'm like,
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, that's what you're asking. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it looks cool because it looks like you're trying to do that on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. Does it help when I speak a little bit slower?
The what?
Does it help when I speak slower?
Kind of.
Let me try something.
Let's see. Yeah, I still have no image of you.
What about now?
The what?
Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's still kind of broken up.
Shoot. Leave computer audio. Join audio. Hello. Hello.
I have no image of you.
Darn it. Is the sound any better or no?
Kind of.
Shoot. Sorry. All right. I don't want to restart one, but can you kind of understand me now?
A little bit.
Okay. Let's finish strong then.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Do you ever get... Nope, I already asked that. Darn it. Do you ever get stared? No. Okay. So what type of planes are you cleared to fly?
So, planes I'm cleared to fly is the Embraer 175 and 170. They're pretty much the same. It just changes in a few seats that we have on both aircrafts.
Okay.
And then I'm also rated to fly some multi-engines, which are smaller planes, Cessnas, which are the little planes that you usually see flying around.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. That's like a tough question. There's like a bunch of them. I don't know how to explain it to kids.
Is it like by the amount of passengers you can fly?
I'm sorry?
Is it like rated by the amount of passengers you can fly?
No, it's just a bunch of planes. Like I have to get specifically rated in that aircraft each time I fly, which I'm rated in about 5 of aircrafts.
Okay. Do you want to just say that?
Okay.
So like it varies by different aircraft, and we have to like get rated for each one.
Okay. Should I say that now?
1 second. 3, 2, 1. So, Miss Abrams, what types of airplanes are you allowed to fly?
So I'm currently rated in 5 different aircrafts, coming from small planes to jets. So pretty good variety that I have passed my test to be able to fly.
Awesome. And you have to pass a test for each like type or class of aircraft?
I do. I have to pass a test specifically for each aircraft due to the structure of each one. They're all the different powers, the way the engine's built.
Right.
And when you fly them as well, they are definitely significantly different from each other, from the little planes to the big ones.
More controls, right, that you have to remember.
So I have to learn a lot of stuff about each aircraft. I have to remember a lot of numbers, for sure.
So keep learning your numbers, kids.
How do I what?
Oh, sorry. I said, so keep learning your numbers, kids.
Yes, keep learning your numbers. That's very important.
Let's see. Can you explain a little bit about your uniform?
Okay, so my uniform, this is required for us. We have a contract that we have to follow, and we get this entire uniform. The hat, I'll stand up as kind of kneeling. The hat here, this is optional, but this actually, it kind of makes it, you want to look as professional as possible.
Yes.
We have to wear a tie. We have a blazer, and then underneath we have, this is what we usually fly in. We don't wear our blazers up front.
Okay.
So here I am. I have 3 stripes on my badge. This means I am a first officer, and 4 stripes means the captain. So first officers sit on the right side, and the captains sit on the left side. After that, we also have multiple badges that we have to wear here. This is my license to fly.
Oh
And
my
shows
gosh.
me all the planes that I can fly in. These are our briefs that we have on standby in case we would have any emergencies. It's a quick easy go-to. I like to wear this tag here. It's a guidance to being a good overall person, which I just like as a reminder in my head.
I love that.
And these are all required. This is my ID. I should cover up my badge number, but this is my ID. I have to wear this throughout the airport. If I don't have this showing, I will get questioned. I could get in a lot of trouble because it's
Wow.
just for security purposes.
Sure.
Then I also have this badge. This gets me through TSA,
Hmm.
where you guys go and carry your bags and you get checked out. I get to go through a little secret passageway, but as long as I have this, then I'm allowed to go. And that's how I get through and get to skip all the lines.
Wow.
Yes. And then actually, this is one more. It's pretty cool too. It's I get a physical. I have to get one every year,
Hmm.
and it makes sure my heart is healthy. I am mentally and physically healthy, and this shows I am good for 1 year to fly. So I have to carry this on me at all times too.
Oh,
So
you have to keep that on you.
this little bag here is very important, and we have to keep it around our necks at all times. And another cool fact about this is it's safety proof. So if someone would want to grab me, it comes off just for safety and security purposes. So
Wow. That's good
little
thinking.
secret you guys know now.
Do not go around to pilots and yank their IDs off people.
Exactly. So now, yeah.
Well, I have one license, and that's to drive a car.
Yes.
Awesome. I have two more questions, and one is, can you explain what turbulence is?
Can I tell you what?
Turbulence is?
Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry. Can you explain what turbulence is?
All right. So turbulence is, in simple form, I'm not going to get all scientific.
Oh.
It's usually around bad weather or just a different type of weather movement that's coming in.
Hmm.
It kind of gets like the sky upset, and then it just depends on high pressures and low pressures, thunderstorms, rain showers, and all that combined will get the air upset and then cause bumps.
Hmm.
Just like kind of potholes in the road,
Yeah.
that after bad weather, there's potholes. They're not dangerous. The slower, when we do get turbulence, there's different things we can abide by to make it more comfortable for the passengers.
Hmm.
One thing that's very important with turbulence is that we slow down, because the slower we go,
Okay.
the smoother, we're not going to be hauling through it, just like a pothole. When you go through it very fast, it's bumpy and it's more,
You go a little hot, like,
you get more shaken up.
yeah.
So when we slow down, just like a pothole, we go through it smoother too. So that's one of the tricks that we do when we do hit turbulence. We're up there slowing it back for you all, so you can have more of a comfortable ride.
Wow. Very insightful. And kids, if you're on an airplane and, you hear a little or you feel a little bit of turbulence and the pilot comes on and says, we're experiencing a little more turbulence than normal, then don't worry. Remember, it's just little pockets of air that are making the plane bounce a little bit. They're slowing down. They're doing what they need to do.
Exactly. And we also, we're always talking to different people. We're talking to our company,
Hmm.
asking them how the rides are ahead, the different radio channels, the air traffic controllers that we talk to, and the centers that we talk to. They already know how the rides are because other
Yeah.
people have previously recorded them. So they usually tell us a different altitude that we will fly at, so we can try avoiding it and making it the most comfortable for the passengers in the back.
Right. So, boys and girls, that's also a good segue into communication. Learning good communication skills will help you all throughout life.
Exactly.
Now, Miss Abrams, we have one last question for you. Do you have a message to our friends who are watching this video?
Well, I always joked around and said that the sky is the limit. But after becoming a pilot, I feel as if now the sky is not the limit. It can continue on to multiple things, and your dreams and goals can be endless, is how I always like to look at things now and change my perspective once I became an airline pilot, because I never thought this was possible, and I made it happen, and I couldn't be happier. So.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you on. And that's a really, really good message to our viewers. Don't give up on your dreams. And once you get to your dreams, don't give up then either.
Dreams.
That's right. All right, Miss Abrams, thank you so much. Hey, are there any airplanes there that you could show us?
You're welcome. It was nice meeting all of you guys, and I hope to see some of you guys in the air flying someday soon.
Flying. Hey, Miss Abrams, are there any airplanes there that you could show us?
I'm sorry.
Are there any airplanes there that you could show us?
Can I turn that? Let me see if I can turn this screen. Oh, I can. So I have the view right here of some I'm looking out at
Whoa.
right now. They're pretty cool. Which
So
I'll be
cool.
going out to work very shortly here to start getting my plane together to start working.
Sounds great. All right. Again, thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. It was nice meeting all of you guys, and Mr. Frost, I'll talk to you later.
You got it. Boys and girls, this has been another episode of Learning with Mr. Frost. Thank you so much for watching. Believe in your dreams.